Hey, welcome back to Up the Windy Lane. I had a thought today. It is springtime. I am ready to get some new chicks started, and I was actually looking and seeing what ones I wanted to buy this year. But then I had a thought. My chickens have upped their production, so I'm going to incubate some of the eggs that we have. This egg incubator is one that I bought off Amazon. It holds 12 eggs. I don't know if I would recommend this one. I've used one before that actually it held 24, and I had 100% hatch rate on it. It was a friend of mine, and it actually turned the eggs. It was much more well put together, I guess, than this one, if that makes any sense. This one is harder to keep the right humidity level. You have to add water to the bottom of it. I don't really remember doing that before with the other one. It also comes with a styrofoam bottom and a styrofoam top in case it is a cool where you put this and you can't keep the right temperature. I just usually use the bottom just because it holds I guess keeps the water warmer, and I really haven't had any trouble. Now, last time I used this, I did incubate 7 eggs because that's all I had, and 4 hatched. So that wasn't too bad. So I am gonna do 12. I'm gonna pick out some of the different colors that we have. I'm going to incubate 12 of our eggs, and then I will probably do possibly 12 more after those. So we'll wait and see. But they take about 21 days, give or take a day or two, and then I'll have some new egg layers. So now that we got the little dividers in, we go ahead and brought it over here. Put it on this little stool for now. So we're gonna go ahead and get this turned on because we want it to get warmed up before we put the eggs in there. There is just a little bit of water in there in the center tray to hopefully control the humidity. The last time that I used this incubator, I did have a hygrometer. I'm pretty sure that's how you say it, I'm not real sure, but I can't find that. I didn't put it with this, so I'm not sure what I did with it. So I'm either gonna have to find it or order another one, but I'm gonna rely on the directions right now and just clear and just fill the center little tray with water, and that is supposed to be good for the first 7 days, I think. All right, so I'm getting ready to go outside and plant some potatoes. Excuse the dryer, or the washer. I'm in the laundry room, and I'm letting the incubator heat up, but I wanted to show you, so we have a bunch of different eggs. We have some green ones, we have some brownish color ones, we have some lighter color ones, and we just have a little bit of an assortment. Now, with these, what I want to look for are clean ones. This one's pretty clean, but you can see that it does have a little bit of stuff on it. I'm going to try to find 12 that are really clean. You know, like this one, I probably won't incubate, and I don't want to clean it off because that actually cleans the bloom off of it, and I don't really want to do that. So, like this one is really clean. It's clean on all sides, so I will probably incubate that one. Now, the difference between these, we do have a rooster. You have to have a rooster to incubate your own eggs. You do not have to have a rooster to have eggs, though. So the eggs that you get from the store, are not fertilized. So the way you can tell if your eggs are fertilized is in the yellow yolk, there'll be like a really small white spot or ring, and that means that egg is fertilized. Now, of course, I'm not gonna know that all these are fertilized. I'm just gonna hope that all these are fertilized that I put in the incubator, but I will know after so long and after I check them. So that is the plan. I'm gonna go through all of our eggs. I have an egg basket here that we've been collecting. These were not put in the refrigerator. I do not put our eggs in the refrigerator until I just absolutely need to. So these have all been sitting out at room temperature, and they can stay out for a few days. You want to get eggs that have been maybe 4 to 7 days, no more, but if you have to, you have to, and you got to try and experiment a little bit. So I'm going to go through my newest eggs, which are these, get all the cleanest ones out, and then I'm going to go to the other ones and pick out some, and so I can have 12. So the plan today is, while it is beautiful outside, I am going to go ahead and plant some potatoes and then cover this up so the chickens can't get in here and scratch. So I can plant 18 potatoes in here. So we're gonna see how far that goes and then see how many I have left. So I just loosened the soil up. It is wet. Now this is a bed last year that I actually put some compost on, so that's why it's so black. You can tell the difference between that bed and this bed. This is just some dirt, some topsoil with some manure mixed in, and then some more topsoil. So this is actually set over winter, and so this should be good. And what I'll do is, as the plants start to grow, I will just fill this in because I have about 5.5 or so more, maybe 5 more inches, and I can add to that. So it was really hard to find potatoes this year for some reason for me. So I did buy these. This is actually, I brought the tag with me. These are from HaasTools.com, and this is a homestead potato sampler. I'm gonna go ahead and get these planted in here, and then I'll cover this up with some of the cloth so that the chickens don't get in here and scratch, because I really like this bed because it's really soft. So I'm gonna use one of my Christmas gifts. This is my Hori Hori knife. It is sharp, it is serrated on one side and just flat blade on the other. And then it also is kind of as a trowel because it has measurements on it. So I'm going to use this today too to go ahead and cut the potatoes. So this is a very versatile tool. So I'm going to put one every square foot. So I should get, these beds are 3 by 6 feet. So I should get 18 potato plants in each of these beds. Last year I planted purple potatoes in a different bed, and I got a pretty good yield off of them. I planted them late in the year and they were purple fingerling, and I got a pretty good yield, and it was really cool because they were purple. This is just a sampler, so I'm really not sure what all is in here. It looks like some red potatoes. Like I said, I'm not real sure what all is in here. I think there was red, gold, and maybe russet. I'm not real sure. But I'm just gonna grab some out of here, and then, because I believe this was 10 pounds. Yeah, 10 pounds of potatoes. This one should be able to cut. All right. All right, so 1, 2. That one looks like it's just gonna be a 1. Okay, so I've got 18 laid out here. Oh, I've actually got more than that. I need that one. 18 laid out, so I'm gonna go ahead and put them in the ground and leave them, cover them, and then when they start coming up through, I will go ahead and start putting more dirt in this bed. The reason I chose this bed is because this soil is really loose and really soft. A little windy out today. Alright, definitely time to get it covered because they're already getting in it before I even got it all planted. So let's go see if we can find some cloth. Oh good, there's some right there. Following me everywhere. So this is just frost fabric, and then I've just got some PVC pieces that I had cut. Okay, that should work to keep the chickens out of there for right now until they come up, and I can put some more dirt in there, and until the chickens can be moved into their summer home or in their run that they're not going to be able to get out of soon. So I still have some potatoes left, actually a few. My plan is to plant some in the ground as well in rows. Now, so what you want to do is you can actually, your potatoes that you the potatoes that you have in the house or stored somewhere can actually have these eyes on them. And what that is going to form a plant. So that's part of the root system. And so you just want to, poor hat. So you just want to cut where there are one of these. So each eye will actually do this. So you cut these potatoes. Let's see if I can find one that has a really, like this one. So you can see this one is has like baby looking leaves and stuff on it. So you would cut this right in half and you would have 1, 2. So you just want to be careful. Like this one, for instance, has one up here and there's one here, but there's nothing down here. So you could just kind of cut it, and so that there's more potato, about an equal amount of potato with each one. Now some of these are really tiny. You just plant that whole potato. But I still have probably about 5 or so pounds. So I have quite a few potatoes left to still plant, and I don't really have anywhere to put them right now. So I did 18 plants in this bed. I actually have 6 of my 9 raised beds planted with something, when the asparagus was left with straw and a hoop net over the top of it, so hopefully it will come back up. And then I've got some lettuce and some cabbage and kohlrabi planted in one. I've got some kale and sugar snap peas planted in one as well. Now we have potatoes. The other bed that is planted may be redone. I actually had some spinach come up this year that actually planted last year, and it must have overwintered and came up. So I planted some spinach, but it's not even coming up yet, so we'll see how it's gonna work out. I do have some strawberry plants in there as well that I transplanted just to have somewhere to put them for right now. So that may all change. These 3 beds, I haven't decided what I'm gonna put in here. It may be some peppers and some tomatoes that I have started, and they're actually getting pretty good size right now. So, but those will have to wait a little bit unless I cover them up. So the plan is actually to get my caterpillar tunnel done, and so I can go ahead and get some stuff out early, and then I gotta work on getting the chickens out of here so I can put some raised rows in the ground. So thanks for watching as I have chickens running around and dogs running around, and I would love to know if you plant potatoes and how you do it. I know I plant mine in raised beds and in the ground. I know people plant them in containers as well. So I'd love to know. Share below with what you do with your potatoes and maybe your best tip on growing them. So I came inside just for a minute. I'm going to show you the potatoes that I planted a little while back and the chicks. So it's been about 3 weeks, and I incubated 12 eggs. 5 of them were not fertilized, so I took those out, so we had 7 left, and so now we have 4 chicks. I'll show you those under here. These are going to go out soon, if you can see these little guys in here. So we got 4 chicks. They all hatched out pretty much on right on the day or day after of what I had calculated. Now I do have 3 more eggs in the incubator, which is right here, but they're about a week over. They're 6 days over their due date. So tomorrow I'm gonna check them, and I don't think they're viable. I think something happened to them and they're just not gonna hatch. So I got 4 out of 12. 4 out of the 7 that were fertilized isn't too bad. I was really hoping for a better hatch, but maybe next time. So I came out here real quick to go ahead and uncover the potato plants that I planted in this video that you saw earlier. It's been about 3 weeks. The chickens are now in their coop and in their run. They cannot get out into my garden. So let's go ahead and get these uncovered and see what they look like. Alright, look at those. That's beautiful. Gosh, maybe I should cover everything up like this. I don't know. Keep it covered up. But anyways, so I'm going to uncover these and leave these, but it looks like they've all, maybe but one came up. So we'll take a closer look. I think maybe just one. There's a little hole right here, and there should be 3 across. So that would be the only one that didn't come up. So that's pretty good. So that means 17 of the 18 potatoes that I planted in here have came up. So that makes me really happy. I do have a few more, and I also have some planted in containers I'm going to show you right now. But we have to go into the greenhouse because that's where they are right now. I was afraid to put them out because the chickens were out. So let's go check those out, and probably going to move those outside today. Alright, so there you can see the containers. These are just big flower pots I got. And what I did was I put some potting soil, put the potatoes, potting soil, and then I've kind of added potting soil and watered them, but they're doing really well. Now when I did plant these, I put a layer of potting soil, and then I had some bone meal and some blood meal, and I would sprinkle that on there, kind of mix that in really good. Put the potatoes, and then I did the exact same thing again. So I put another layer of the potting soil, some bone meal, some of the blood meal, and I also added the ashes. I forgot about that. But I put all three of those in each layer, and then watered them really good. Waited till they came up, and then I've been kind of adding soil back in, so we're going to see how it is. I've never grown them in containers like this, so hopefully this works out okay. But these are going to go outside now that the chickens are up, and I think the frost is over, but if it's not, I'll cover everything back up. But I've kept those potatoes outside that you just saw covered up since I planted them. I've just checked on them occasionally and checked, and the chickens have really left them alone because they haven't been able to really pay any attention to what's under there. But I'm really excited about the potatoes and the chicks. And now I'm getting ready to I've got a chicken in the barn that is good at hatching eggs. She's a very good mother, and she's hatched I don't know how many times for us. We didn't realize that she was doing it, and she is sitting on eggs now. So my plan is to go out there and to get the milk crate that I'm going to use in the little chicken enclosure that has the meat birds and the blind rooster in it. I'm going to take one of those that's a nesting box, and I'm going to take it out to the barn. We're going to put the eggs in there and put her in there and put her back in here so I can kind of keep her contained in that, and see if she'll kind of stay on them in there so she's not in the barn where the cats and everything else is. Alright, so here's this little enclosure that I made, and off of Justin Rhodes' plans. I will not use metal next time, and I think I will leave one of these metal panels off here to get more light in here. But this is really heavy. I should have put it on wheels, and I should have put something on it to move it because it's very heavy to move. And so here are the 5 meat birds that are left out of my 15 because we had a catastrophe. And so these are the 5 that are left. I will say that meat birds are rather ugly. They poop a lot, and it kind of stinks in here. So I definitely want to move this before I put the little hen in here with her eggs. Alright, so she's right around here. Look on the back side. This brown bale, she's got so many eggs she can't even cover them all. Okay, so I could not do that one-handed. So I got all the eggs. She is sitting on 22 eggs. She is not a very big chicken. She's probably a medium-sized chicken. She's one I think that we hatched out a long time ago, but right now she's right here in this milk crate on top of her eggs, and I covered her up with my light jacket that I had on. So I'm going to scoot her in here, and we're going to see how that works. She has food and water in here if she wants it, but other than that, it's just the blind rooster and the other chicks in here. So hopefully she'll stay on them. I just didn't want her staying out in the barn. We've got 3 cats and the dogs and stuff, so I just didn't want her out there hatching them out there. So in here, if they hatch, they'll be contained, and I think that'll be much better. Plus, if she does hatch some out soon, I can bring the 4 that we have inside, and I can put them out here, and they'll all kind of grow up together and be kind of like a little posse of chickens or whatever. So I think that'll be better. Okay, so she did get up off the eggs when I put her in there and I uncovered her, probably to check things out and see what's in here, and because there's other chicks in here and stuff that she doesn't recognize. She's still pretty fluffy, so I'm hoping that she will get back on there and haven't just totally messed up that whole thing, but we'll see. We'll see how this goes.